Welcome back to episode 3 of No Overtime. I'm Michael Canntilli alongside Jake Goodman, and today we are diving deeper into the Davante Adams trade along with some Week 7 game picks.
So let's jump right into the biggest news of this NFL season. There are many trade rumors surrounding Davante Adams, but he's going to end up reuniting with his quarterback from Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers, as he is going to the New York Jets. The Jets traded a conditional third-round pick to get him. So, Michael, what are your thoughts on this big trade?
I think it's a great move for the Jets. You know, their wide receiver depth is so strong right now. Mm-hmm. It's giving Aaron Rodgers a lot of opportunities, and I think it's going to make overall their offense better, which is a weak point for them. So what do you think?
Yeah, obviously now the Jets have two wide receiver 1 caliber players in Davante Adams and Garrett Wilson. I do think Davante Adams is going to be the true wide receiver 1 just because they played together on the Packers, Aaron Rodgers and him, so they already have that established connection. We know Garrett Wilson kind of had some trouble along with the routes. Guys like Mike Williams had some trouble. So looking at the other Jets receivers, such as Allen Lazard and Mike Williams, what do you think is going to happen with them?
I think they're going to start getting limited touches. Davante Adams and Garrett Wilson are really going to eat up those receptions. They're going to be getting most of the looks from Rodgers. And I, in terms of Mike Williams, I don't like the look to trade him because they can when receivers get tired, they need to be subbed. And I think Mike Williams is one of those guys who is good at coming off the bench, and he's good at filling that role. Even if it's not scoring X amount of touchdowns a game, I still think that the Jets could use him.
And, the Jets are now willing to trade Mike Williams to teams who are needy of a wide receiver, such as the Saints. They're dealing with a lot of injuries. Guys like Chris Olave is hurt. He might go back to the Chargers. I do think if he gets traded to another team, he's going to go back to his old self. I think he's just a little rusty with the injury. And not to mention, Brock Bowers, tight end for the Raiders. Without Davante Adams, he might get 10 targets a game. He's going to look like a top 3 tight end.
Yeah. I totally agree. So let's move on to our game picks. So I'm 7-5, and Jake is 8-4. We both have been pretty accurate this season. So let's start off with the Jets.
Yeah. Let's start off with the Jets, as we do every week. They're going up against the Steelers this week. I have them winning. What about you? Yeah,
I have the Jets over the Steelers. I mean, it's going to be a good game. I think they're both teams who can be better, and they're struggling to be better, and I think it's going to be a good game.
Yeah, I think Davante Adams is going to have a really good first game. They're going to try to get him worked in right away. For our next game, we have the Vikings versus the Lions. I have the Lions. Who do you have?
I'm gonna take the Vikings because they're undefeated. They're doing great right now. The Vikings, Sam Darnold has stepped into that role very well, and it's gonna be interesting to see how he continues.
We both have the Falcons over the Seahawks. So, guys like Drake London, Kirk Cousins, they've established that connection. The Falcons look really good right now. They look like a top 10 team in the NFL. Going over to a Super Bowl rematch between the Chiefs and 49ers. I have the 49ers getting their revenge. What about you?
So do I. I think the Chiefs are they're 5-0, but they're kind of a fraudulent 5-0.
Yeah.
I don't think they really deserve to be 5-0. And I think the Niners are still a good team, and they're ready to get some revenge.
Looking at what should be a high-scoring game between the Texans and Packers, I have the Texans going to Lambeau. What about you?
I do have the Texans over the Packers. They're a great team. I obviously still think they're one of the best offensive teams in the league, and they're obviously a playoff team, and so are the Packers, so it's going to be a good game.
And now let's get into our upset game of the week. I have the Buccaneers over the Ravens. Both teams have looked really good. Both quarterbacks have looked amazing. But what I look at is their secondary for both teams. The Buccaneers probably have one of the best passing games going right now with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. And I think the Ravens' pass defense hasn't looked good this year. I don't think this is going to be a run-heavy game script. I think both teams are going to pass the ball a lot, and that's why I'm going to take the Buccaneers.
Yeah, I agree. And so for my upset game, I'm actually going to take the Saints over the Broncos, mainly because the Saints, they're struggling right now, but the Broncos, they're obviously struggling as well. And I think the Saints overall have a better offense than them with Olave. And the Broncos lost to the Rams, so I think this is a good opportunity for the Saints to come back.
Yeah, I like that. A lot of injuries on the Saints. Broncos look like they have a really good defense this year. It should be an interesting Thursday night football game.
Yeah. So that looks like a wrap for episode 3 of No Overtime. We hope you guys enjoy week 7 of the NFL, and thank you guys for watching.